Hello, Algebra 1 students, and welcome to your 1-2-1-3 Day 2 Video 1. So we're going to kind of revisit these two sections we've been doing the last couple of days, but we're going to do some more different problems. We're going to do some involving fractions. We're going to do some that have different kind of solutions than a single answer. And of course, we're going to do some word problems. Okay, so let's get after it. Okay, so example 1, we're going to solve this equation. So look here, right? We have two fractions. So 3/2 x minus 2/3 x equals 2, right? When you have multiple fractions involved, I always like to try to clear the fractions. So we're going to clear our fractions. And the way we're going to do that is by this process called multiplying. So we're going to multiply by what's called the LCD. And LCD stands for least common denominator. We're going to multiply both sides of our equation by this LCD, and then we're going to simplify and simplify and simplify. And when we simplify, the fraction's magically going to go away. All right, so let me draw my line. So this separates the left side and the right side. So I'm going to find my LCD. So to find my LCD, I need to look at all the denominators, right? So I have a 2 here. That's going to go in my LCD. Times. I have a 3 here. That's going to go in my LCD. Now this 2 on the right-hand side has a denominator of 1. We don't really need to count that 1, right? So our LCD is going to be 6. We are going to take both sides of our equation. I'm going to put the left side in parentheses and the right side in parentheses and multiply by 6 and multiply by 6. Now, on the left-hand side, we have to distribute that 6 into the parentheses because there's two terms. On the right-hand side, it's just going to be 2 times 6. Now, because this 6 is being multiplied with fractions, we should give the 6 a denominator. That's just going to be 6 over 1. And again, we're going to multiply the tops across and the bottoms across. So because the bottom is 1, your denominators will stay the same. Just the tops, the numerators of your fractions, will get multiplied by 6. So 6 times 3 is 18. So that's 18 over 2x. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12 over 3x. So there's my left-hand side. And then my right-hand side, 2 times 6 is 12. And now we'll simplify. 18 divided by 2 is 9x minus 12 divided by 3 is 4x, and that equals 12. And look at that. We have cleared the fractions. So now we look to solve our equation like we have the past couple days. On the left-hand side here, I see like terms. We can combine the 9x and the minus 4x. 9 minus 4 is 5x. So x is on the left-hand side. So our goal is to get x by itself on the left-hand side. So now we do an addition or subtraction and then a multiplication division. Well, there's nothing being added or subtracted to this 5x. We're going to skip the addition subtraction. We're going to go straight to division, right? This 5 is multiplying with the x, so we'll divide both sides by 5. And you will get x equals 12/5 is a simplified fraction. You may also divide them in a calculator and to get a nice even decimal of 2.4. So this LCD right here, this is very, very key in trying to simplify your fractions. Okay, next here. So solve this equation. So it says 5x plus 8 over 3 minus 3 equals 2x. So this right here looks pretty complicated, especially with the fraction. So we're going to go ahead and multiply by the LCD again. Now in this case, because there's only one denominator, this 3, that is your LCD, right? All of these are just ones, and they don't really count. So here's my line. So I'm going to put the left-hand side in parentheses, times it by 3. Put the right-hand side in parentheses, times it by 3. So the left-hand side, so this is kind of interesting here. On the left-hand side, we have this fraction. Now, in the top of this fraction, we have two terms. However, we're just going to multiply, what do I want to say? We don't want to multiply 5x and 8 by 3 right now. We're just going to multiply to that fraction and then multiply it to the 3 over here. And again, that can be confusing. but we're going to talk about that in a second. And then over here on the right-hand side, you just do 3 times 2x. Now, when you multiply the 3 to this fraction, I'm going to write it like this. It's going to go up top because, again, this is 3 over 1, right? 3 over 1. So don't multiply the bottom 3 by 3, right? So I'm going to put a 3 on top. I'm going to open a parenthesis and put the 5x plus 8 in parentheses. That'll be over 3 still. And then 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. And then 2x times 3 is 6x. So now what's going to happen here is instead of distributing the 3 into the parentheses, the reason we multiplied by 3 is so that it would cancel that 3 in the bottom. And there you go. And down comes the 5x plus 8. No need to put in parentheses. Bring down your minus 9 and your 6x. So this is what I meant by when you distribute, just kind of distribute that 3 to the fraction. Don't distribute it into the numerator, and then it's going to cancel. Okay, so now a couple things. First off, left-hand side, we can combine like terms. I see a plus 8 and a minus 9. So that's going to be 5x comes down, positive 8, and minus 9 is minus 1. Bring down your 6x. Okay, now I see 2x terms. I want to combine them. Now, because the 6x is the only term over here, I'm going to make this right-hand side the x side. So to move the 5x, we're going to subtract it. I'm going to bring this over here. So the 5x's cancel. We have negative 1. Here's my line for the equal sign. And then 6 minus 5 is 1x. Now, to be honest with you, this 1 in front of the x doesn't matter. Because if you divide by 1, it doesn't change the answer. So this 1 doesn't matter. So you have to divide by 1. That's just the answer. Negative 1 equals x. Okay, so there's our first kind of problem today involving fractions and using the LCD to clear the fractions. All right, next, let's take a look at another example here. It says solve the equation. So it says 12b plus 9 equals 12b plus 11. So I hope that as I read it out loud, you said, whoa, there's a 12b here and a 12b here. That's kind of odd, right? So the left-hand sides are not identical because there's a 9 on the left-hand side and 11 on the right-hand side, but they're pretty darn close. All right, well, let's try to solve this for b. Right? So I don't see any like terms on the left, no like terms on the right, no parentheses for distribution. So let's combine our b's. Now, because they're the same, we're going to subtract 12b on both sides. It doesn't matter what b. You could say, I'm going to move this 12b over here. I'm going to move this 12. No, you're just going to subtract 12b. And what's going to happen is these 12b's cancel. That gives you 0b. 0b means 0. Don't put b. b means 1b. 0b. So bring down your 9. Over here, they also cancel. So again, you get 0b. Don't even write it down. And bring down your 11. So what has happened here is your variable cancels on both sides. There's no more variable. So all I have here is that 9 equals 11. Well, ask yourself, does 9 equal 11? Not in my reality, it doesn't. No, 9 does not equal 11. So because this situation happened, there is no solution here. There would be no real number that I could put in for b that would make the left side equal the right side. The right side, because it says plus 11, would always be 2 greater. So there's one of your different types of solutions. No solution. Okay, next one here. Let's solve this equation. So 6y minus 8 equals 2 parentheses 3y minus 4. So let me draw my line. So I do see parentheses. So again, we're going to distribute. So the left-hand side stays 6y minus 8. On the right-hand side, 2 times 3 is 6, and the y comes. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. And lo and behold, look at this. 6y minus 8, 6y minus 8. So again, I see my two 6y's, but notice the minus 8s also repeat. This is what we call an identity. So if you recognize that the equation is an identity, left side equals the right side, you can automatically say this type of answer. But if you don't recognize, let's just go through the process, try to combine your variables, right? Again, it's a 6y on both sides, so it doesn't matter what you do. You're going to subtract 6y to combine them. on both sides. So 6y minus 6y cancels. That's 0y, which, don't even write it down. Bring down your negative 8. Over here, 6y and negative 6y cancel. That's 0y. Again, don't even write the y. And that's negative 8. So again, what has happened is your variable cancels. So now we're left with negative 8 equals negative 8. And negative 8 always equals negative 8. So what this means is that your value of y could be any real number. And we say that is infinitely many solutions. So y could be anything, and the left side would always equal the right side. Okay, so that's the end of the first video. Next video, full of word problems, 3 to be exact. I'm looking forward to this.